God's mornings, I appreciate you being here, heavy hitters. So I'm down here at Los Angeles Superior Court of Santa Clarita. This is the place that you go when you're out at Wayside and you catch a case out there, and it could be anything from possession of a knife, manufacturing weapons, fighting, any kind of case that you catch out there. This is where they send you. So my homeboy calls me this morning, says, "Can you give me a ride to court?" Being of service, right? So yes, of course, I'll give you a ride to court. It was funny too, because I'm thinking at least we're coming through the front doors this time, Doug, because we actually walked through these back doors together, coming in on the bus. Catching cases out at Wayside is a very easy thing to do. Doesn't take much, any kind of fighting, any kind of putting boots to somebody, whatever the case may be, this is where you end up. So, quick update is Harriet's doing okay. It hasn't sunk into her, that yawn passed. Fortunately, she wasn't able to see the body too well because he was slumped over and into the, blocking the door, so that they had to cut the door off. So I just wanted it also to be known what we thought was an OD may very well not have been an OD. There was nothing found, no spoon, no outfit, no nothing. So I may have jumped the gun on that. He may have just simply had a heart attack, For his family's sake, I really hope that's the case. The mom is just shooken beyond shooken. I guess he had some debt that she ended up having to pay yesterday. It sort of pinched her in the gut. She's asking my girl if she knows what happened with the money. So, I don't know. A lot of stress could lead to, after you've gotten clean. I know a lot of people that when they do meth and they get clean, that's what happens. My dad had a heart attack behind it when he got clean. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that that's the case for his mom's sake, that, it was a natural death, you know what I mean? Because that would just kill her to think that her son overdosed in the bathroom while she was gone. So it does appear that I may have jumped the gun, and he may have just simply natural causes. He's a pretty young man for that, 40 years old. But back to the courthouse, I'm so grateful. I still got butterflies walking up here. Anytime I go to a courthouse, I still get butterflies. And I go to court quite often. Working in treatment, I bring people to court, and every time, it doesn't matter, butterflies, So, and I love the fact that I'm walking through the front door. I love the fact that when I talk to the judge, that, they treat me as if I was just another lawyer, basically. When I speak up for the clients or whatever, it's nice, I get to express how well somebody's doing, and have it be true. I never embellish how they're doing. If I say, I've had to say, Your Honor, I'm concerned about this individual. I still feel they might need a little more treatment or something. I've had to do that, It depended on their behavior. So it's, people get mad at me because I'm a mandated reporter. If somebody says they're going to hurt themselves or whatever, I have to report that, or they're going to hurt somebody else. So it comes with the job. But guess what? I got a job where I'm in that kind of position. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good shit, man. I'm not the one being discussed. I'm the one discussing, and the butterflies are probably always going to remain there. I think everybody probably gets butterflies when they go to court, Exciting news. So Nate Dogg from Fresh Out, we're going to do a first black and white video where, two gang members that are non-active gang members are going to sit down and discuss whatever, So that's basically what I'm reaching out to you guys for. What kind of questions would you like me to ask Nate? If you haven't checked him out, go to Fresh Out and watch Nate Dogg. He did 17 years. We're going to line something up tonight. So we'll take it from there. You know, I'm going to try and keep it on a positive, course, because, and I'll have him cut something for Patreon members, but he's all about keeping people out now too. I watched some of his new stuff last night, and he's definitely about keeping people out. You know, he says fear. You know, all these guys out here saying, I'm not afraid of anything, blah, blah, blah. He's right, man. If you're not afraid of anything, you're going to crash and burn. You know, eventually you're going to crash and burn, because you'll run into any situation if you're not afraid of anything. I think that makes you even more afraid, and that you're doing that to impress your homeboys or whatever the case may be. I think that makes you even more afraid. So he's right. And one thing he says he's afraid of, the only thing he says he's afraid of, is returning to incarceration. And you know what, my boy, I can't blame you. You know, I lived in that fear too all the time. I do not want to return to prison. You know what I mean? Why would I want to do that? You know, and why would I want any of these pups thinking that it's cool to go to prison? All those that talk all that high power stuff, he's right. You haven't been there. If you're not afraid, it's because you haven't been there, man. Especially when you're sitting up in the gang module and you're helping pass a kite that your name may be on. You know, it's an uncomfortable feeling. You know, it's made into a little football and wrapped in plastic and burned so that nobody can get in there. It's like the old days when the king used to put the wax on and put his seal on there. So, but your name could be on that list that you just passed. I've seen that happen many times, man. If you're not afraid of anything, I'm afraid for you, because that just means you have no sense. Anyway, guys, any questions that you think you'd like to hear, hit me up, put them on, leave it in the comment section, and I'll write down the ones that are intelligent enough and, within reason. I'm not going to ask any disrespectful questions. So, I also got Sandman. Thank you, Sandman, for reaching out and, talking to some of these people so he's got a white Southsider. Maybe I can get you some of his perspective and see if this kind of content is, entertaining enough for you. I don't know if they're in recovery, but my channel isn't just based about recovery. I know that they're both clean and they're pushing to keep people out of those situations. I'm sure everything was about drugs back in the day. I think Nate Dogg's story has something to do with drugs. You know what I mean? Like someone owed him some money and one thing led to another, which is always the case. You can't get punked out there when you're slinging dope. You get punked once, and guess what? That's just how it is from then on. I mean, people are going to continue to punk you. They're going to, can you front me this, homie? Can you front me that? And why would I pay you if you let him get away with not paying you, So anything within reason, guys. Leave some questions that you'd like me to ask, and I'll throw it to him, see where he's at. I'll give you his perspective as well as mine. So with that said, I got to get back into court. I don't want my boy sitting in there stressing out. He's not here just for a traffic ticket, so I would be stressed out a little bit too. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be able to, help somebody out, give them a ride to court, and know that I have nothing to fear about walking into that courthouse. So with that said, nothing but love and respect to the tribe, and I appreciate you all. Drop a comment, leave a question, help me out with what you want to hear. I don't want just my perspective on things. I would like to get, other races' opinions and just other people in general. It seems like it's always the same story. Stay away from the same things, gambling, prostitution, anything along those lines. So, what's that? I do it. Hang on. So, all right, heavy hitters. There you go, bud. All right. Like I said, just leave a comment and I'll ask them any reasonable questions, all right? Love and respect, tribe. Like.